I am not a savage. I soaked in the gore of the illithid for but a few moments. A few minutes. An elf stopped us on our way to clean the blood, claiming an intellect devourer had fled the wreckage. I followed his direction and found nothing but a boar. Turning back, I found another boar. This one had taken a dagger, ready to slit a throat. He blustered, but stopped as the worm within his head stunned his senses. He attempted an apology. I do not take well to threats, but I am not a savage. I understand that the weak experience fear. I wouldn't reward his cowardice with execution. Not yet. Not if he kept his knife to himself. But I would not reward his paranoia with acceptance either. He had his problems. Let him solve them. Alone. A huge structure lay a short distance away. The door was much too sturdy to break down with a small axe I had at my disposal. I searched for another path, but I was found wanting. I turned the way we had come. My mind turned toward the elf. Did not want to walk by him again. I didn't want another confrontation. Shadowheart smirked at my hesitation. She brandished a small pack of tools that she had scavenged from the wreckage. Within moments, the door was open. We were welcomed by several sarcophagi. Defiling the dead was fine. They no longer needed their tools or their riches. Shadowheart stopped me as I attempted to move into the room. She pointed out traps on the floor. The dead, or their relatives at least, did have issues with aiding the living. She bent down to work. Perhaps I was too hasty to judge. Shadowheart may not have the brawn to hold her own in a fight, but she still has her own value. Among the dead, I found a halberd. It was nice to hold a weapon that required both hands again. I could put my weight behind the shaft, revel in the resistance, and give as flesh rent from bone. Shadowheart broke the tools on the grave in the center of the room. It likely belonged to the most important of the dead, some kind of king or leader. There was writing. It was inscrutable. Tools had been scavenged. It was only a matter of time before they broke. I didn't blame her. There was a button on one of the pillars. It was likely a trap. It wasn't worth risking, not now. Shadowheart led the way through the darkness. She continued to open doors. We reached another tomb. It felt holy. The name Jurgle, an ancient forgotten god of the dead, rose to my mind. Several bodies littered the ground. There didn't appear to be any sign of a struggle. We found a scroll to protect against the and supernatural, and a key. Just outside was a cave and a ladder leading to the surface. An escape fashioned after the structure had fallen to ruin, maybe? Or an exposed secret. We searched the crypt for more secrets. I asked Shadowheart of the trinket she kept hidden. She refused to speak of it. I attempted to learn more about her, more than just her name, and that she worshipped a goddess, just as I did. Probably. She refused again. It would serve no purpose. I thought back to myself, my lack of memory, the ecstasy I felt as the life of the illithid drained away, the ever-present flickers of death and blood that fills my mind, the urges that tempt my every action. I didn't press her further. A button was hidden at the end of the corridor. Shadowheart felt it safe to press. There weren't any traps so far. Hidden room appeared. The dead rose. I pushed Shadowheart into the room behind me. I stood in the doorway as the skeletal scribes approached. As I waited, I cast the spell on the scroll in the hopes it would protect me from the dead. A brute held my attention. The weaker ones cast spells silencing and blinding the two of us, stymieing Shadowheart's ability to help. The spell on me bent their attacks from my body. My own divine castings turned their bones to dust. We triumphed. I felt proud. Any strength they may have had in life likely drained away with their blood. I became disappointed. A lot of effort was taken to protect this specific tomb. A plaque claimed it held the guardian, and that atonement came with knowledge. Shadowheart stood back while I lifted the lid. A desiccated corpse, a lich, flew from its confines. I lifted the halberd from my back. Instead of attacking, he appeared civil. He asked the cost of a single mortal's life. I owed him nothing. I said as much. He accepted my defiance and claimed we would meet again, at the proper time, at the proper place. I expected him to vanish with magic. Instead, he just wandered off, complaining about filth and mess